and welcome to another episode of Joshrardo.
That's it?
You're not going to say it?
I mean, I can if you want me
Another
to.
episode of Joshrardo.
I never know how he's going to say it. Sometimes he says it with a lot of energy. Sometimes he
Right.
comes out of the gate hot.
Sometimes he's more Hispanic. You're like, I don't know
Yeah,
what we're going to do.
And-
Well,
yeah.
I'm always Hispanic.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You forgot about that? Huh?
Yeah, and I'm half. And also, there's been a lot of people who have beef with me. Because,
Really?
sometimes it comes out.
Yeah.
There will be episodes where the entire episode I just have this weird accent.
Right?
really?
Right, fool?
Are you
Yeah.
like your parent, like one of your dad?
My dad.
One of
My
your
dad.
dads. I mean,
Hey, it's
I was like,
2020.
you're
It's 2020.
definitely
2020.
coming from two dads. I can tell in your energy.
Definitely have that vibe.
Yeah.
I kind of do, though, for real. I
Wait.
kind of have a two-dad energy.
Yeah,
What does
you
that
do.
mean?
Yeah. It
I
just
mean, I look at
like
me.
his hair and
My
like
hair.
Okay, I
Yeah.
know what you're saying. Okay.
You have a no-dad energy.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have a two-mom hair, huh?
Two mom hair. Yeah. Nobody
But,
paid the lights. Whatever.
Yeah, so sometimes the Mexican side of me comes out a little bit more
Right.
than other times. And
Wait.
to anybody who has a beef with that, fight me, dude.
Right. Wait, so it's your dad is Mexican?
Yeah, yeah.
So what's your last name again?
My real last name is
Yeah.
Diaz, but my
Oh.
stage name,
Whoa.
if you will,
Breaking news.
my
Yeah.
stage name, if you will, is Josh Michaels, and that's because my middle
Yeah.
name is Michael. But
Gotcha. Because I was like, that's not, I was like, his last name's not Hispanic.
but that's because I want to be my own person,
Right,
You know?
okay.
And that's Josh Michaels is who I am.
Right. So you're a
Wow.
liar. Just say you're a liar. Yeah. You're a pathological liar,
Anyway,
ladies.
that's-
Listen
that-
up. Yeah.
That's one way to introduce myself.
But
Right.
also, his parents gave him a beautiful middle name, and he never says it.
Magic.
Josh Magic Michaels.
Oh, magic.
I don't.
Are your parents still
name's
together?
stuck. No.
No.
God.
Okay.
There are no two people on this planet who shouldn't be together more than my mom and dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Complete
then it's a
opposites.
good thing. Yeah.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's a great
And
thing.
my name is Gerardo Alarcon, which we were doing numerology earlier.
Yeah.
And both of my names have 7 letters. What does that mean?
Whoa.
That means that you love 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, too.
Basically.
I do too, though. I
Yeah.
really do.
He likes the buffalo rollers.
Oh, you know, the meat tubes that are rolling by the register?
No, I mean,
never
I
seen
know
them?
I've eaten the chicken wings at 7-Eleven a lot, and like I like them.
so
yeah, I'm
good.
like, and I'm from Buffalo, so it's like I know my chicken wings.
So you have,
Wow.
you know what's good and what's bad. when
I
it
know
comes to
what's good.
wings.
You know what place has really good chicken wings, and they're not exactly Buffalo style. Is Mexican Village. Have you ever been to the Mike there? So it's a restaurant in Koreatown, but
Okay.
it's a Mexican restaurant in Koreatown, but they have really good chicken wings.
I'll bet, dude. I
Yeah.
can't
I'm gonna
wait.
write that down.
Yeah, write that
Yeah,
down.
write
dude.
that
Let's
down.
go.
They're-
But
I
I'll
tell
look-
everybody, I'm like, okay, these motherfucking chicken wings, and everybody's like, dude, I'm not going to an open mic to get chicken wings.
I am because
Yeah.
most open mics don't have food, and if they do, it's terrible. So
Yeah, their
I'm
chicken
down.
wings are bomb.
Let's go. But let's introduce our guest today, dude.
Okay,
because-
let's do that.
Yeah, we have a very special guest today.
We should do. It's the first time in Joshrardo history.
Yeah.
It used to be the podcast formerly known as Joshrardo Mike Alarcons.
Don't even say it.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, don't even
But
say that.
the first time in our guest history that we don't really know you, right?
Yeah.
I've,
Like,
seen, I've seen.
I don't know
this-
how I got here.
I've seen this guest perform once before, and let me just say this: it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Well, thank
It was
you.
a pleasure, dude.
You're like, it was mediocre, and I have some notes,
gonna
and that's
be-
why we brought you here.
I'm gonna. Yes. Yeah. Actually, how did you know
Let me
that?
pull the
No.
notes up.
I-
Yeah.
We're like,
I don't remember exactly vividly what happened that night, but I do. I have a feeling that this is what happened. It was a mediocre show. And I'm not lying. If it wasn't the truth, I would have said something else.
Yeah.
But I remember you that night specifically. I should go back and look at who else was on the show. But you specifically being one of, if not the best comic that night.
oh, thank you.
And I
I
mean
appreciate that. Yeah.
And maybe I hurt some other people's feelings right now.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
I was on the show.
Were you?
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
right.
It's
You
fine.
are.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh no, then you for sure were the best. comic.
no, I'm
for sure.
No music. No music for that.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah. No, it was a super cool. That was the night that that heckler came at the end. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
That was
That
super
was hilarious.
cringe. yeah.
Was
yeah.
that the night that he was talking to previous guest
Jimmy Calloway.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Yeah, I
That-
forgot about that, dude.
Yeah.
That drunk, just fucking big, bald,
Yeah.
white
Right.
Which also,
Yeah.
the Jimmy Calloway episode, great episode.
Great
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
great.
love Jimmy
Yeah,
Calloway.
Jimmy
He's great.
Calloway.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
also
yeah.
amazing.
He's awesome.
But that's what I remember of this guest performance. And
I think I was wearing this hoodie too.
Were you really?
Yeah.
honestly, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
Now
that
that
your
I think it
stand-up
was.
hoodie?
Yeah, it's my little Adidas hoodie. I'm like, I'm a cool girl, right? Adidas. And people
Can
are
you
like,
go to the show tonight? I have to stop by the apartment first.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
need my
I gotta
Adidas
do some
hoodie.
laundry.
Yeah.
I do have things that I wear that I feel more confident and comfortable in.
Right.
Do you?
I know what he likes to wear on stage.
What?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, of course.
Introduce our
Yeah.
guest.
Okay, y'all.
before-
Sorry. This hat is my new stand-up fit. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I don't know why, but I feel naked without a hat now.
I usually
look naked.
always wear hats too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
I'm
do you
naked
really?
looking.
I do always. I try not to when I actually at mics always hats, but like when I perform on stage, I try not to wear a hat. But sometimes I'm like, I'm in a hat mood. I don't need to be
Bro,
disrespected.
if I wear a hat, I look like the kid from The Sandlot. Dude.
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's really
you do.
scary.
Yeah.
Does.
Yeah.
No matter what hat, however long or short the bill is, I look like that kid.
Right.
I look
Aw.
100% like
Feel
that kid.
gross.
Do you have anything to say about our guest before we introduce
Our
her
guest,
today, dude?
we were on a show this Sunday
Mm-hmm.
in a city that we're actually in right now, in Claremont, California. Shout out. But that was a good dude. That was funny.
That was very good.
But we both did very well. You know who didn't do well?
You.
No, I did okay.
Who didn't do well?
The audience.
Oh,
It's always the audience's fault. In Claremont, it's always the audience's
yeah,
fault.
that's
I
comedy
usually
101.
never say like, oh, but like that audience. So I was like, because I mean, there was a variety of comics where I'm like, how did they? Okay, and I was like, like,
Dude,
yeah,
yeah.
they were definitely a little tight. Yeah.
I got
A
so
lot
mad.
tight.
I got so mad at a guy. I'll tell you later. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
And she's here today, February the
Nice.
9th. The show comes out tomorrow.
It does come out
This
tomorrow.
is basically live.
Boom.
And you know what? Let's just go ahead and give it up for her. Give it up for Monarey
Monarey
Martinez.
I don't know if I should say your middle name or
Yeah.
not. Monarey Martinez, how are you, dude? Thank you so much for coming all the way out here.
Oh, no,
I
thank
know
you
it
so
was
much for
probably
having
quite a
me.
journey
Yeah.
for you to get here.
Now I listen to some pop music. I never listen to my pop playlist. I make my own playlist because I'm
Whoa.
a control freak, and I'm like, I'm not just gonna listen to someone's curated thing. You don't even know me.
But
So
it does.
But
it does. It
The
really does.
Yeah, the Spotify algorithms. I'm like, I don't do math, but that's witchcraft.
Yeah,
It's
no, for
definitely
real.
witchcraft.
They know everything, dude.
They do.
What
They're
do you-
like,
what
she's
were you
about to
listening
cry.
What was popping up?
She's about to cry today. I was listening. I watched that goddamn Taylor Swift documentary.
Me too.
I did not want to watch it, but I was like, I like the part where she talks about everybody hating her, and I'm like, what's that like? And I was like, we got to be prepared because one day, like once we do make it, like everybody's gonna talk shit about us, and like she's on such a huge platform, like her, like Kim Kardashian, that it's like. It's so interesting to me where I'm like, how do they handle that much hatred and just like stay? So I was like, I'm not that I'm supporting people hating her, but I'm saying like just like looking at how she like handled it. I was like, let me just at least watch it for that. And then after I was like, I'm in a Taylor Swift mood. And so,
Bro, I don't even really fuck with Taylor Swift like that, but after
Yeah.
watching that documentary, I was like, what's that song about the young? The young?
I'm not gonna
I
sing. Yeah.
the girl in my life.
That's Katy Perry.
Dude. Come on, get your fucking shit
Wait.
together, dude. Are you kidding me right
Put your
now?
goddamn white pop stars together.
Oh my
Sorry
god.
about that.
Something about the young. The
Yeah,
young.
yeah. It was like the young, like only the young can run.
Yeah. But I watched it, and they first of all, I told him I watched it, and his first reaction was, "Why? Why would you
Yeah,
watch-
what are you
Why would
doing?
you watch that?"
Yeah.
But I watched it because it was, I don't know why. I like watching documentaries, especially about musicians for whatever
Yeah.
reason. I always find them interesting.
For sure.
That I was telling him they tried to film that incident that happened at the VMAs or the MTV Awards with Kanye. They tried to film it in a way where we were supposed to feel bad for her.
Right.
Dramatic music. There was a lot of
Yeah.
build up. Her voiceover was saying like,
yeah. In this moment.
yeah, in this
like-
moment, I had finally achieved what I had wanted to achieve.
Right,
As a
right.
person who needs and craves constant approval and attention,
Right.
it was this moment that made it all worth it. And then Kanye
Yeah.
runs, and I laughed
So
hard.
hard. Yeah.
And out loud, I was like, Kanye is dope.
Yeah.
I love Kanye.
No, because and like at the same time, it's like I really understood like both those moments, and I think sometimes there could be two good guys colliding, and just like based on perception, somebody is gonna look like the bad guy. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, Beyonce did get snubbed, and she still gets snubbed. Like at the Grammys that one year when like she came out with Lemonade, which is like there was no better album. And they're like, Adele. And I get it. She had that one song in the black and white, which is crying.
The one song.
Yeah,
shout out Adele.
Yeah, shout out Adele.
No,
yeah.
shout out Adele.
But she had like maybe like 2 good songs. And Adele even was like, dude, like what does Beyonce have to do to get album of the year? Like, so at that point, yeah, Beyonce did have one of the best music. So it's like, I understood Kanye West's thing, but it's like probably not the platform to do it when someone's accepting their first VMA, you know?
I get it. But also like you said, like she had to be prepared.
Scared the shit out of me.
Oh, sorry.
I did notice it scare you.
I was like, they would have a quirky like fire alarm. I was like, that would make sense. I was like, maybe that's this.
Bro, that should be our fire alarm. That would be awesome.
Yeah, or just like a fart noise, and you're like, "There's a fire."
If there was a fire and that music was playing, anything I did would seem heroic, dude.
Right,
Even if
absolutely.
I was running away, like terrified.
Yeah,
it
just
would
like
look-
naked, one sock on. You're like,
You
I
slow it
fucking
down to
survived.
this music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a hero all of
you
a
are,
sudden.
absolutely.
But yeah, you got to be prepared for everything.
Right.
I think that's what that moment showed to me. It's like, look, Kanye
Yeah.
was being Kanye, whatever,
Right.
which was one of my previous beefs. When people let people do shitty things because
Right.
and their excuses because they're just that person.
Right.
I hate that, but also like he was kind of preparing her
Yeah.
for shit. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And like it's, you know, it's, I'm not saying like he made her or anything, but it's like that did put so much attention on her, which I think was a blessing in disguise, because now everybody's looking at like, I don't know who the fuck she
He
was,
did it,
really.
right? That's what you said?
Yeah, I know. That's when I found out about Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like, no, that's just not my style of music. But so I was like, what happened? And then I'm like, boom, you got this huge platform, and like once something like bad happens to you, you just like get in that gritty mode where you're like, oh, okay, well, fuck you. And then that's what she did. And then she came out with an even bigger, better album. So I'm like, you know, whatever was the catalyst, I was like, it was a blessing
Good
in
for
disguise.
Taylor, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out Taylor Swift.
Shout
Yeah,
out Taylor
shout out
Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Dropping names.
Made in America, dude. Watch it. Even if it's just for that one part.
It's called Made in America?
Oh, I think it's Miss Americana.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's Miss Americana.
Hey, also, Taylor, maybe for your next docuseries,
Yeah.
Made in America.
yeah.
Maybe.
Do it better, Taylor, is what we're saying.
Do less political stuff at the end, please.
Yeah,
and,
less like caring
more
about
Kanye
like
drama.
yeah. More
Yeah.
Kanye.
Yeah, more Kanye.
Yeah, so welcome, Monarey, to our beef
Layer.
beef layer.
Beef layer.
Our,
Okay.
our beef dungeon.
Don't call it a dungeon. It sounds-
I mean, our beef hospital. Our beef spittle.
Okay.
You know,
okay,
Yeah.
we're just gonna move on.
okay, I'll make one that works later. But you know, here as you can see, the walls are blue, the beef is hot, and we have many of things around us that I would like to refresh you and the viewers. We have viewers. We're on YouTube. Yeah,
That's
crazy,
crazy.
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
it is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Super
crazy
cool.
that no one leaves comments on our
Yeah,
videos.
nobody leaves comments. I wish people would just say hello or whatever.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. They
Yeah.
got a lot of thumbs ups.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's something that means you're not making anybody like irate to where they're like, fuck these guys.
Yeah,
you know what I
true.
mean?
We
That's
probably
usually
are doing that.
But I would take that too.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
They just block us on social media. But anyways, so as you can see in front of you, you have a buzzer.
Oh.
Nicknamed the Beef Buzzer, which
Okay.
brought to you by Joshrardo. You can buy them on Amazon. Just search Beef.
Oh, okay. It works.
And
Okay.
that is connected directly to the whack meter, and when you buzz it, it goes up a little bit. So that was a little whack of you to hit it, but
Yeah, before we even explained it,
Yeah.
you know, that could have caused an explosion or something.
Yeah.
you
It
know?
could, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we would have had to play our fire alarm music.
And then it would have been a whole thing.
and this here is, you know, birthed on the podcast, if that's how you say that, is the PC whistle.
PC whistle.
So when
There
you
we
say
go.
some outlandish shit, or he does usually, but
Never, ever.
Okay.
because you
got
can't
it.
get canceled when you hear a slide whistle.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you can laugh.
You can say some pretty crazy shit.
Okay.
And then you hear a slide whistle after. You're like,
And
"It
then you're
wasn't
like,
that bad.
yeah, you gotta
Wasn't that bad.
check yourself. What's the rest of this? The
Oh, well,
Joshrardo.
Oh, this is our number one handbook. Our number one fan handbook.
Okay.
brought to you by Nick Laney. Shout out.
Okay.
Our number
Super
one fan.
cool.
Nick
Yeah.
Laney.
Nick Laney.
Over here is one of our best friends, Joel.
Yeah, we drew a
Joel.
little picture. It does look like a police sketch, and frankly,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
might be.
I like that he's in mid like conversation, like for the portrait, like
Right.
you know what I mean. Like he has stuff to say.
Yeah. He was talking a lot when I was trying to draw that.
And also, if it was a police sketch, the policemen really like him because there's a heart next to him.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a heart, and then what's the can of SpaghettiOs?
Oh, funny you should ask for that.
Very funny. you
Very
should ask.
high five.
Oh,
Can we reach? Let's see if we can reach.
Yeah, we got it.
got it.
So you know we're today actually
Is the Oscars
It's
tonight.
the Oscars
yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
You're probably thinking, how is that connected to the SpaghettiOs?
There's the
I mean, I
reason.
can see the connection, obviously. Yeah.
Okay, then we stop right there.
And then I'm like the whole time, like,
staring at the SpaghettiOs. We look at
Why?
the footage
Yeah.
back, and you're just staring.
So we're fed up, dude. And sorry for cussing if I do in this speech right now, but we're fed up.
Yeah, dude.
And we're done with the Oscars. And we want to start something new.
Brand new.
Brand new. It's really quiet. 1 second. And we're going to make our own
Awards.
our Oscars, basically.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah.
our own movie awards. Maybe Taylor Swift gets a Lifetime
Something.
Achievement Award.
Maybe a documentary.
Yeah,
award.
documentary.
Or a documentary
award.
award. Oh.
Maybe
It's funny you should mention that.
because today.
Because today we didn't tell her what it was.
we're calling it the Monties.
oh,
So,
the Monties.
Yeah, our
okay.
cat's name is Monty. He's
Yeah.
the producer of this podcast. And so
Yeah.
Yeah, and so so we have been giving out a couple of Monties
Yeah.
Okay.
to movies that we like that weren't necessarily nominated or won any awards so
Right.
far.
Not
And
yet.
Nice
speak of
Monty coming in. Yeah, making
Speaking
his.
of Monty.
Yeah.
And we give out a can of SpaghettiOs, A, because we don't have trophies, and B, because
You could actually use it.
you really can.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
And can I ask you a question, by the way? Let's just say that it was the end of the world.
okay. I know where he's going with this.
Yeah.
And you go into a convenience store, maybe a CVS or something, and you see a shelf of SpaghettiOs like that.
Right.
Okay. Would you eat them?
Yeah.
Question number one.
Of
And
course.
question
I
number
used to eat SpaghettiOs all the time.
Right. But
Wait,
here's
but
and
wait, here's the kicker.
Here's the kicker.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Well, how would you prepare them if it was the end of the world? How would you prepare them?
Well, that food isn't real, so like you can just eat it like out of the can.
Thank
But
you
it's
so
gross.
much.
You have to admit it's gross.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
No, they give me shit because sometimes if I'm in a hurry or if I just don't feel like heating them up,
Yeah.
which is 90% of the time, I'll just eat those bad boys straight out of the can.
Yeah.
And the world's not ending. Or
Right.
maybe it is, but
That's like poor people stuff where you're just like,
Yes.
you just do what you got to do.
you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Talking about poor people stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all grocery shopped at the 99-cent store at some point in our lives, right?
And you know
Yeah.
what? I thought about that the other day, and I missed it for like a split second.
Miss what?
Going to the 99-cent
Cent store
store.
for groceries.
And
yeah.
then just like going bawling out, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This,
Get what you want.
My roommate always says, everybody's rich at the dollar store. And you're
It's an
like,
amazing
yeah.
place.
I mean, I even like in 2017, I lived in New York and I was like so broke. And I literally was like shopping at like the Dollar Tree and I was like, I have $7. And I was like, I need to make, so I bought like a package of hot dogs. There's like 8 of
Classic
them. So I
move.
was like, one a day, got like the hot dog bun so I can have a full hot dog.
Yep.
And then, I got like a thing of rice and then I got beef. So it's just like, I literally, with like $8, I bought groceries for the week and I just like made it work. I was
Yeah.
like,
You have to.
yeah.
And so if I want to eat SpaghettiOs out of the can, let me eat them out of the
right.
can.
Respect.
Do what you gotta do.
Thank you.
Respect.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I would heat them up, even though I wouldn't eat SpaghettiOs.
Why not? Because you're a gym rat. Let me guess.
I'm a gym rat.
I'm a gym rat.
I'm a gym rat. Don't be
Yeah.
sad.
Does he look like does he look like a gym rat to
You're a
you?
gym rat. You know, I mean, there's phases of gym rats. There's,
Wow.
That's very true.
right. You
That's
know,
fucking
I don't know what phase he's at.
Exactly.
He's like,
Yeah.
I'm competition ready. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
I'm-
so
I'm like a gym
Let me-
mouse.
maybe, how do I break this to you? You're a gym house?
Mouse.
gym mouse. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little mousy boy. You're gonna
Okay, don't call me a
yeah.
little mousy boy.
I got really upset. I'm going to call him that all the time now.
Takes off his shirt. He's like, am I a fucking mousy boy
Am I a
now?
mousy boy? Yeah, you're pretty hairy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Don't. Yeah. His shirt coming off is something that none of us want to see. None of us want to see.
I used to do it all the time
Yeah.
on the podcast. I stopped.
Good.
Okay, cool. As long as you
As long
recognize
as you
that.
acknowledge
Yeah.
that I stopped.
So, he wants to ask about SpaghettiOs. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a fan of peanut butter and jellies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you
I'm like, yeah.
can you do me a favor and
He's
just
like, and go fucking make me one.
Wow.
I'm like,
that's hilarious. No. That was very funny though. How do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
I definitely don't toast the bread if that's what you think. Yeah.
Thank you, dude.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
you don't
what is
toast
happening?
it. No.
Why not?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's not supposed to be crunchy. It's supposed to be like soft and kind of just like melt in your mouth. Like you don't toast
you.
it. Yeah.
That's all the time we have for today.
Wow. Can we be best friends?
Yeah. I mean, we're both white and Hispanic.
Oh, we are?
Oh,
Yeah,
my
Martinez.
God.
What the fuck did
Well,
you think I get that from?
I didn't know if you had any white in you at all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I blew up. Come on. I was like, where do you
hey,
think they come from?
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
You guys have
we
a
are
lot
the
alike.
same person. I mean, she's, probably a little bit better than I am as far as like being a person
I'm
is
like,
concerned.
well, yeah.
Have you ever worked in a restaurant
Oh, yeah. I worked in restaurants like my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Same, dude.
Yeah.
as a server or back of house?
Bartender.
Oh, so you guys are front of house.
So you guys are front of house.
Yeah, this guy's back of house. Dude.
Back of house.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is my shrimp scampi?
Hey, wash the fucking dishes, okay? And
wow.
when he washes the dishes too, I'm assuming you'd be one of the guys that would leave shit on it too. Like it'd be dirty.
No.
It'd be dirty.
I
stuff.
take pride in my job.
Okay.
But I don't wash dishes no more, baby.
Moving up.
Moving on up. I
Jim
wash-
Mouse moving up in the ain't no Jim Mouse, ain't no dishwasher.
Nope.
He's moving up.
I'm a gym rat. And that was a funny joke about being a mouse.
It was.
But yeah, you were saying just to put a bow on the Monty's thing.
Oh, yeah.
We might just give away. You know what? Since by this time this episode comes out, the Oscars will have already been over. So we might as well just announce who our Monty for Best Picture is, dude.
Best picture of the Montes.
Do you know what yours is? Have you seen a lot of the movies that it came out this season? Or this
Probably
year, I
not.
guess?
I'm
Oh,
really
wow.
bad at watching movies.
Yeah.
I'm not like one of those people like, I don't watch TV, but it's just like I really kind of don't. Like
No, I get it.
Yeah, I mean I kind of tend to like watch the same things that I know that I like, and I get like I'm like I don't want to try anything new because I always get disappointed.
Yeah.
Like my dating life. Anyway,
Wow, we are the same person.
yeah. But I feel like some of them, but like I haven't seen the Joker.
Oh.
What's the other? What are some other ones that are nominated?
Maybe Once
I
Upon
like
a
how you got cute with it. You're like, maybe.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Didn't see it.
Wow. The Lighthouse.
But they filmed it by my work. I used to work on Hollywood Boulevard, and I kept not being able to park because of that movie.
I was on a bus that I had to take a detour because of filming last night, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Infuriating.
Very infuriating.
Get a car.
Okay,
Get a car. Marriage Story was another one.
I did watch that one. Yeah. I can go off about Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, is it Johansson?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how he
I was like, is it? I was
pronounces
like,
it.
she's a bitch, and she's not getting a good pronunciation. I'm just
Whatever.
kidding.
I wanna call
Whatever,
her.
Blondie. No, I feel like it was a good movie for sure, but like a lot of her acting just felt so fucking forced to me, and I don't want to be like one of those people like that like talks about people's acting. So I'm like, just don't be a loser. But there's like moments where I'm like, why? Like, I don't know. I didn't believe her in the movie, and I was like, she's so annoying. And I was like, oh, maybe that's why I casted her because she was annoying, and it's like a person that you're like, I definitely want to divorce her.
Sounds like you loved her in the movie.
Yeah.
Me?
No, it sounds like Monterey did because
Yeah.
she did exactly what she was supposed to do.
Yeah, I guess. But like there was like a couple that scene where like the lawyer's like talking to her on the couch and she's like going through her thing. It just felt so like actory to me,
did.
and I was like,
did.
I could tell she was just like this. She was like, oh, and then I'm gonna use sense of memory, and then I'm gonna go, and I'm just like, I didn't.
Yeah, and I get you.
Yeah.
I get you on that. Well, the award's definitely not going to go to Marriage Story anymore.
But also,
It was a good movie though.
I liked it. It was okay. Not my favorite, but it was okay. My favorite movie about divorce? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Categories.
Yeah.
But it's not motion picture.
It's motion. I call it a motion painting because I think
Motion
it's
painting.
a
masterpiece and it's
What?
beautiful.
Yeah.
And in the spirit of the Montes, I call it a motion picture.
Ooh,
Yeah.
It's
get
terrible.
that. Yeah, I was like, get that R going,
No,
bro.
but
Everyone likes it.
I
Everyone
hate it.
likes it.
Yeah,
Do you
I
like it
hate-
because it's a rolling of an R, or do you like it because it actually sounds pleasing to the ear?
You know, it's just him, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that seems what he would do.
It's a cat award.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it
that's
sounds
right.
like, but it doesn't sound like he's purring. It sounds like he's like
Yeah,
He's doing that.
yeah.
Best
weird.
picture. Purr.
How
How do cats purr?
Yeah.
Not like that, dude. Not like they're about to assault somebody.
Oh, why would you do that?
Pervert.
Oh, this year, let's just call it a motion painting. And this year, the motion painting, we're going to paint this gold. But
Yeah.
Okay.
it goes to
1, 2, 3.
Uncut
Gems.
Uncut
Okay,
Gems.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen that either. What's that one about? That's.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It's,
It's about
well,
Adam Sandler's
Oh.
the Sandman. He's like
Sandman.
in the jewelry diamond district.
Diamond District.
And he buys a gem. Look,
A gem.
I don't want to spoil the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
A lot happens.
Let's
He's
just say-
gambles, KG.
But this came out in movie theater. Or is this like one that was like
It was
direct?
out in theaters,
It was out in
yeah.
theaters.
It was in theaters.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I need to get better about watching movies. I
just
know.
at least watch that
Do
one.
yourself
Yeah.
a favor. Watch
do
that
yourself
movie.
a favor and gay culture. yeah.
Stop watching Taylor Swift documentaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
And watch The
exactly.
Sandman crush it.
Yeah. I'll watch it.
No, he did really well in that movie. Anyway, we just had to say that. Had to get that out there.
Boom. Okay. Well, I'll definitely see it that you guys both recommended it.
But we're not here for movies. We're here for
Or beef.
Beef.
And we beef it up. And
beef it up and all that stuff.
yeah.
And
Go ahead.
we're curious as to this season. We've been letting the guest start the beef train.
Okay.
Because, we beef all the time.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
We live together in the beef place.
Right.
And it's just always something new.
Do you guys
to beef
wrestle it
about.
out, or what do you guys do?
I mean,
yeah.
If
Sometimes.
Joel's here, if that guy's here, then yeah, we do.
Yeah. Sometimes there's no real winner, but
Right.
we all leave happy.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But yeah, so this season we've been letting the guest start, and if you would do us the honor, we'd
Right.
love to hear what your beef is.
My beef is, and it's kind of it's a bit that I haven't really worked out, so don't like judge me if you see me like doing this on stage like 2 months from now and you're like, wait, she said that on our podcast.
Beef is beef.
Right, you're like, beef is beef.
Yeah.
We respect beef, okay? We like your beef. I'm like that. My beef is towards bisexual women.
Okay, I'm ready for this, dude.
That's my motherfucking beef.
I'm ready for this.
Go ahead and elaborate.
Yeah, go ahead and say more. It's not like with women who are like actual bisexuals. It's like women who are like convenient bisexuals.
Ah.
I feel like there's a lot of those, especially in comedy or like entertainment.
I get
I
that.
feel like there a lot of girls are like, I'm a bisexual, and I'm like, no, you have a boyfriend and you still want people to think you're interesting, so you have this like new thing, like, but also bisexual.
Yeah.
And they dye their hair blue and then they like twerk at a party, and it's just like, I don't believe it. Yeah, I think a lot of bisexuals like they think their credit is like, or they think their sexuality is a credit. You know what I mean? They're like, I sing, I dance, I'm also a bisexual, and you're like, that doesn't go on your resume.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of bisexuals, like, I'm like, you just want the approval of a black guy. That's
Wow.
that's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
no,
I
so
like that you're barely blowing it now.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
waiting. I knew something else was coming.
but that's like what if you
Yeah.
notice, if you see any like like a lot of like lesbians, it's like I never see them dress other than like in one particular way, and I'm like, that's why I always tell black guys, I'm like, if you want to make a lesbian's day, just go up to her and say cool shoes. Like,
wow.
just say cool shoes or cool outfit, and it's like, that's what you can do for your part of like LGBTQ. Oh fuck, don't, I was like, don't use that part.
Cut that part out.
Yeah, get that part out. Pretend I got all the letters right. Yeah, pretend I got all the letters right the first try. But yeah, I just like, lesbians are chill. I'm like, I'm cool because I know a lesbian, like, real lesbians, and then the girls who are like, you just want people to think you're hot. Like, you're like, I like girls too, and you're like, no, like. Like, I've been with women, but I don't call myself a bisexual. Like in the bit I was working out, I'm like, like I've been with like 7 women, and like I don't identify as gay, I don't identify as bisexual. I'm like, I identify as fun.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
just
That's a great way to say it.
fun.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And like, I feel like a lot of girls, they're just like, I don't know if it's an attention thing, or I don't know if they're just trying to get on more shows, and like, I gotta get the whole like gay community because there's 15 shows just right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it comes from, but a lot of the times the girls that I notice that are bisexual, I'm like, it's very convenient that you're always in a relationship. So I've never seen you with a girl before. And I'm not saying that like, you can't be in a relationship with a man, but when you're only in relationships with men, I'm like, you gotta at least have dated a girl for like 6 months, and like,
There's
Well, yeah, I
parameters.
think
Right?
yeah, the way to word it is you have to have at least been in a relationship and not just hooked up with a girl.
right.
Just like hooking up with another girl. doesn't automatically make you bisexual.
Right.
Date them.
Right.
Be in a relationship with them. Move in with them.
Right. Because like most, and again, this is not, because I know some people are going to be like, man, this is not for women who are actual bisexuals. These are like, I'm talking about like pretend bisexuals. You know what I mean? They're like trendy bisexuals.
I feel like that happens not just, I feel like that happens both ways.
Oh, for sure. Well, I feel like it's kind of like their little like, it's their little claim of being like, I know like what it's like to like struggle, or like I know what it's like to have some resistance, or like I have a thing too. And I'm like, you're a boring white girl from Thousand Oaks who like listen to hip hop and wants to be interesting. Like,
also, if you're only hooking up with girls when you're drunk, you're probably
right.
You're a drunk sexual.
Yeah.
Sexual.
Or if that's like the most interesting thing about you, like maybe be better.
Absolutely.
Like,
You know
maybe no.
I have something to add to this, and it might. I'm already in hot water
Yeah.
as I'm thinking it.
Yeah.
But dudes or women,
Here we go.
the gender not specific.
Okay.
People that aren't gender specific.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm a dude, right?
But let's pretend.
Allegedly.
Let's pretend, yeah.
And then I turn into a non-binary.
Right.
So, you thought I was gonna say woman. Maybe I become a woman, right?
Right.
But then I'm still into chicks, and I still
Right.
have my dick.
Right.
Okay, didn't really need to throw that.
What's
last part
what's
in,
up with
but-
yeah? What's up with all that?
Right. What's up with all that? Yeah. Once it like becomes that, I mean, that just becomes where I'm like, I don't even have opinions on it, because
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just kind of a riddle. I'm like, okay, so you were a man, but then you're trapped, or you're a woman trapped inside of a man's body, but now you want to be a woman, but you still like, it just
still
becomes too much
lesbian.
math, and I'm just like,
Dude, yeah, look.
whatever, I got you. I support you.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
learning. Just be patient with me while
Yeah.
I figure it out, because
Right.
I might say the wrong thing, use the wrong pronoun. It's not
For sure.
on purpose. It's not to hurt you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And also, I don't want to make a joke about it. I just want to understand.
right.
Me too,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I should. Not I specifically, but we should be allowed to like ask questions.
For sure.
You know?
And that's what I was saying. Like, to me, I'm like the people who pretend, because it's like, I have tons of friends who are like lesbian, and I'm like, they know, they like that I say this, because they're like, they get annoyed with these women like pretending to be bisexuals, because you're like, no, like you're not actually going through what I'm going through, because like you go on social media and have your tits out and your little fucking heart tattoo like above your chest, and you're like, I'm bisexual, and like my boyfriend thinks it's cool that I fuck hot chicks, and I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
To be fair, you're talking about a specific type of person.
Type of person.
And
Drop
I
names.
I know the type of person. Like, I think you've painted it perfectly.
Yeah.
The type of person who you're talking about. And
Right.
I agree. Like, there are even couples that I know that will hook up with they're married, what do you call it when it's just
Swingers, or like open relationship.
they're not,
or...
but they will only hook up with somebody else together.
Right. Yeah. So they're just cool.
Yeah. Pretty
like,
much.
They're just cool.
And I don't think that means that his wife identifies as a lesbian,
Right.
or as bisexual.
Sexual.
See, forgive me. you know?
Yeah.
She's fun.
She's fun.
fun.
Yeah.
She's fun.
She's just down for a good time.
And like you said, there are both. There are
Right.
bisexual people, there are lesbian people, there's non-binary people, there's straight people, there's all kinds of
Right.
people. But when you're using it
as a
way to like define who you are, or to get attention, or maybe to get
Right.
more like opportunities, maybe
A better spot on
Right.
an open mic.
yeah. Oh, they do it. They really
Yep.
do some dumb
that's
stuff.
when it's fucked up.
Yeah, that's what, it's just annoying at that point, because it's like, even like I have hooked up with women without like a man before, and it's like, I don't have any. I'm not saying I can't like come up with a bit for it, but I'm like, I don't care. Like, I usually don't ever like talking about sex on stage as a woman, because I feel like when we do, like, I never talk about my vagina, and I never talk about sex on stage. Like, I just like recently, I was like, unless you count all my rape jokes, it wasn't my choice. No, but like, I just like, for whatever reason, there is a stigma being like a woman if you're, there's tons of women who do it, and it's not that I don't respect it. I'm happy for them. I just don't like doing it, because I feel like people are like, here's another female comic talking about blowjobs, and I'm like, I have more than blow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's a tricky thing, man. It really is. Like, you want to be a person who talks about whatever you want to talk about.
Right.
Whatever is relevant to you, whatever
For
speaks
sure.
to you, but you also don't want to be like perceived a certain way.
Right.
It's tricky. Like I can't even imagine like for a lot of what other people go through and what they have to talk about and how they have to talk about it.
Right.
It's like a what do you call it? A landmine?
A minefield.
Yeah, minefield. Yeah. And it's just like, and it's not like it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I just choose not to. And like, also because I feel like I'm the kind of female comic where it's like, I feel like I never want people to like pay attention to like what I look like. That's why I do always wear hoodies and hats, and because I feel like sometimes people just see it sounds stupid to say, but it's like,
I know what you're gonna say.
If you're like a cute girl, people just automatically assume I'm gonna suck, and that tends to be the case for a lot of people.
Or you don't want to get people's attention based on your appearance. Like you want your jokes and your comedy, your stage presence, everything
for sure
to get people's attention.
Exactly. And there's tons of times where it's like I get dressed up with my girlfriends and I'd love to post about it, like being like, oh, I'm out. I just never do because I feel like just because I know so many comics, and it's like I never want to be perceived as like, oh, she's thirst trapping. And I know people are probably listening and be like, you shouldn't care what people think, but I'm like, I just hold myself to like a certain degree where I'm like, I just don't ever want anybody to be able to say she flirted or she was a slut or she used her looks, and I'm like, I'm really not, bro. Like, I'm
and that's
really
what it
not.
is, dude. Like, obviously, I'm a guy. And so I have
supposedly.
Yeah, I was like, yes, okay.
Obviously, I'm a guy with two dads.
Yeah,
okay?
it's
I'm a guy,
up for interpretation.
Yeah, I'm a guy with two dads, just trying to do what I can do. Here. But it's like. So I really can't really say much about it, but I'm allowed to have my own opinion. When I see people who do post thirst trap photos, right? They're absolutely allowed to do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
For sure.
They have the choice to do it or don't do it. It's just based on like whatever kind of person or entertainer or just anything.
And if they own up to it, I don't give a shit. There's like a lot of girls who are like, I don't give a fuck. They're like, I'll fuck a guy for a spot. And I'm like, more power to you for owning up to it.
Right.
It's when people thirst trap or when people do things for attention and they don't own up to it. That's the shit I can't stand. Like, I know girls who literally fuck for like money. You know what I mean? But I never hear her on stage being like, hey, I'm a cunt. I manipulate men. That would be interesting. If she's like, I manipulate men and I get whatever I want. I'm on the show right now because I fucked a guy. Like, you'd be like, oh, shit.
I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, but then they go up there and they're like, so as a kid, I lived in a shopping cart. And you're like, hey, what? Like, you know what I mean? And it's like.
Just because they have a joke about a shopping cart.
Yeah, I'm like, be authentic through and through, on stage, off stage.
Yeah, and it's not to say that, like, I still can't, like, you can't control what people think. So like when you have to be prepared, like if you're that type of person to do that, you have to be prepared for those people who are going to be, I'm not going to lie, like me, sometimes I'll see people get opportunities based on certain things they post. And
for sure.
I can be as like open-minded about it as I want, but I still can't help the fact that it bothers me sometimes. Right. Where, it's really frustrating. And then there's always people that say like, yeah, but people who get these opportunities because of those things, like they're not, it's going to come back to bite them in the ass later or,
Right.
So you just got to be patient. You got to focus on yourself, stay in your own lane. It's like, no, dude, I'm looking like, I'm allowed to be irritated by
of
this.
course. And it's like, it's the same thing with like politics. We can't just be like, well, people, it's like, no, if you feel some way about it, it's okay to say. But I do think like in any field, like that's gonna exist no matter what. Yeah. And so like, I let myself like have a balance. Like if I'm talking about it and like we're like comedically talking about it, it's chill. But as soon as I like see it like really starting to bother me, then I got to be like, no, like I can't, like I've blocked or like muted certain people because I'm I cannot watch like your mediocrity and your like underwhelming presence like move on in life. So I'm just like, I just got to mute you out. But
I've been picturing two people the whole time.
Okay, drop names.
No,
but I get what you're saying. Dude,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah. It's so frustrating. And it's weird because, like, I think it's comedy specifically.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's super attractive and they're posting thirst traps and they're a musician, or I don't know why it feels different.
Right,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying...
Because music, unfortunately, is where it's like, it's look based. Like you're not gonna always watch like a fat ugly person in a music video. It's not Meatloaf was the
yeah, you're never gonna be in a...
No, I'm just saying, but people like I'm not saying that everybody's like that, but like mainstream music, there's a reason why they're all attractive. Yeah. It's because they know people are gonna be like, who's that? I like that, and then they're gonna like, tune in. But like comedy doesn't, it's never been like that. So
yeah. And that's the same thing, dude, with like guys, like they tell you like I've heard dudes say that you don't want to dress too You don't want to
Right.
look too put together because you don't
Right.
want your look to distract from
Right.
your comedy. Like there's a
Right.
lot of guys I think now that are wearing like nice sneakers and,
Right.
and very bold colors and everything.
Right.
And it's a look. Definitely things change.
Right.
But I think there is a point to where I don't want to laugh at a dude who's like super put together and
Right.
super hot,
I think like I think you can though, like for whatever reason I feel like there are women I know who dress up and who are very funny, and I'm like more power to you, but like do you guys know who Maddie Hansen is? She like
I think I know the name.
she like dresses up and like but she'll at least like call herself out. She's like, I'm a cunt. I grew up rich. She was
I
like,
love
my
that.
biggest problem was like I had to clean before the maid got here. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm like, I appreciate that honesty.
That's
That's why,
self-awareness,
yeah,
yeah.
it's self-awareness. We're like, okay, but when you're coming in super hot and all dialed up, you're like, I'm a nerd, and you're like, bitch, stop. Like, really?
It's true. though.
So that's what like that's, and I think there are guys like. I don't care if you come in dressed in, but if you're like, it's hard for me to get laid, I'm like, dude, like, how do you not have any self-awareness? Like, I'm like, you're not a good comic.
But I just want to go on the record and say that it can be hard for dudes to get laid who don't look like it's hard for them to get laid.
Right.
I had someone tell me the other
Right.
night, like, because we did an open mic and I kind of bombed
Right.
because my whole set was like that I'm this lonely guy, and sure
Right.
I was like hamming it up a lot,
Right.
and then my friend was like, yeah, no one laughed because no one believes you.
Right.
And I
But
was
then you
like-
have to have that awareness, like, hey, like, I know to comics, like, I look like I can get, but like in the real world out there with these goddamn fucking CW people, like,
Yeah, for real, yeah.
and like that you just have to, like,
Okay.
just that minor adjustment, and then you're like, then you're fine.
What are CW people?
The CW network.
Oh,
bro.
okay. Okay. Whoa.
I thought that was like a region. I was like, CW's over here, like the high caliber Caucasian whites. We call them CWs.
C-dubs,
Caucasian whites.
Yeah, dude, it's hard. Yeah. It must be really hard for you, huh?
Yeah, no. I mean, this guy, he's made out with 8 dudes
What?
yeah.
Like
But
for
he-
fun?
You know what? I
for
feel kind
drunk.
of.
He's one of the. You were talking shit about girls that sleep with each other for being drunk.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not to say that I wouldn't, but I haven't, and I was drunk, and I feel embarrassed to say that because
Right.
of all the reasons to kiss a dude,
Yeah.
what I'm about to say seems like the stupidest reason. to do it.
Right.
I
I
wi-
wanted a piece of gum and it was in his mouth.
No, I wish that. I wish if someone asked me, like, why did you do it? I wish my answer was because it was fucking hot, dude.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
just
yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, my answer is because I was drunk and I thought it'd be funny.
Right. You thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you got to do.
I wish I had more balls to be like, nah, dude, it's because
Right.
he was giving me these fuck eyes.
Yeah. And I was like, Daddy's home.
Daddy's home.
Yeah.
I wish that was the reason, but it was always drunk fucking shenanigans.
Okay. You
Drunk.
gotta,
I was
you
like,
gotta
I'm
live your
down.
truth. You gotta live your life.
Yeah.
You gotta do you.
Yeah.
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 Gerardo, you want to, like, maybe, try it one day?
No. I'm cool.
He's like, we already live together. Yeah.
I've kissed 4 dudes,
Okay.
but it was on stage.
Oh, like,
in like acting.
okay.
'Cause,
In like acting.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the theater.
In the theater. How do you say that?
You were in it. I don't know.
Theater.
Theater.
Yeah.
There we go.
theater.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with kissing dudes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel
Except
your
if you're a
beef,
dude.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wait, what did you say?
I said except if you're a dude.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Except.
But yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that a lot. What do you feel about it, dude?
What do I feel?
What do you feel about, like, it could be hot dudes, hot, women, it could be anything.
Hot dudes and
Let's
hot
say
women in
specifically
comedy.
Well, that wasn't what she was saying, but that's what I'm saying. How do you feel about it in comedy?
You know what? I couldn't help but think about how music kind of sucks now,
Yeah.
and I think it might have something to do with that. It's like, give this hot dude a guitar and we'll just play a track behind him.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of good music out there. You just have to go find it more.
But like things that are being like forced upon the youth,
Right. Yeah.
Because
True.
we have our fingers on the youth of the society.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the pulse. Not
On the-
okay.
Yeah.
We both
I
have
was like-
TikToks. We're both
yeah.
I
You're doing it. Yeah.
I
yeah,
turned
yeah.
30 last year and I got a TikTok.
And
that's-
I know a lot of comics who have TikToks now, and I watch their videos. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not. Do your thing.
Well,
Get
no,
your thing.
It's
Yeah.
terrible. It's awful,
Right.
but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's
Yeah,
definitely a guilty pleasure.
It's
Right.
hilarious.
And
Yeah.
not that I get any pleasure out of
Okay.
watching
Yeah,
anything
no.
on TikTok.
Right.
but it is. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, if you come up with like funny content, there's just a lot of people who do not come up with funny content, and then they're on there as a comic in their 30s, and you're like, this is really sad.
I don't even get on there to really post shit.
Right.
I posted 2 things on there, and then that was right when I downloaded it, and then since then have not posted anything. Don't plan on posting anything.
Right.
But I will watch other people's TikToks for hours.
Oh wow.
He also blew up.
What do you mean blew up?
I got like 60K on.
Oh wow! You're like no big deal,
Don't make me
but
blush right now. But
You put a bunch of jewel pods.
you're like we're actually gonna film you like reacting to his TikTok, and
segment on
that's
this
why you're
podcast.
here.
we're trying to go viral again.
Yeah.
but
He-
yeah,
he
it's,
put a bunch of jewel pods in a bowl of cereal, and then he acted like he was eating them.
Really?
Yeah, kids love cereal, dude.
Yeah.
Cut that part out. Cut
Yeah.
that part out.
Yeah.
Cut that part out.
And we're talking about spicy women and spicy dudes, and I think it's a good now to introduce a new segment of the podcast. Do you like spicy food?
I do.
Hold on, I'm not playing this game.
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh no! Is this like I'm trying to hot sauce? No.
No, we're
no.
gonna drink LaCroix. But I'm gonna eat a
You're gonna
jalapeno.
eat a jalapeno.
You guys
right
want
now?
jalapenos?
I don't want one.
No, I'm not into like I'm not adventurous with my spicy. Like I'm the type of person where I'm like, yeah, like spice is a flavor. It's not like an activity to do. Like, those people who are like they go to a restaurant, they're like, get me the spiciest thing on the menu. And they like
that's
film
me.
it. I'm like,
Wait,
no.
I don't film it.
Yeah. But it's like that's like an adventure. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To like try the spiciest thing. Like that's not food at that point.
But
I'm like
I do love a good spicy thing, but I'm gonna tell you something really embarrassing, dude. I 30's young, by the way. Okay.
yeah, okay. No, I
just
know.
freak out. I start unplugging everything.
Thank you.
I have 2 things. I have I'm lactose intolerant
Me
now.
too, yeah.
So I gotta drink almond milk. I don't drink it because I think I'm better than anybody.
Yeah, I didn't become lactose until I was like 28, and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful. And number 2, the older I get, the worse my skin reacts to spicy food.
Oh, what?
I have
Can
a
we
little
see it
bit
happen?
I have a little bit of rosacea that is activated by spicy foods, alcohol, things like that.
You don't want one?
I'll take a bite.
What? Really?
What?
I'm down.
Here you go. You have to eat the whole thing though.
No.
I'm not gonna eat. I said I'm
Yeah,
gonna take a bite.
It's like finish the whole thing.
Okay, I'll eat it.
Break me off a little piece of that Kit Kat bar, dude.
Take a bite. Oh.
I don't want to eat it after you, dude. I think you might have the coronavirus. Or something, dude.
Oh, the piece from your
I don't wanna
mouth.
eat that,
Yeah.
dude. But I do love spicy stuff.
Okay.
Especially, not to brag, but I am half Mexican, but sometimes I feel like when it comes to the cuisine I eat, I feel like I'm full Mexican, and a lot of my siblings who are full Mexican can't handle as much spice as I can. And
Okay.
is it because I have to?
So
prove?
are your brothers older, or like siblings older than you, or are they younger? Why are you the half one?
Well, I have
I
complicated.
was like, why are
but-
you different?
And I do want to know. I do want to know about like your family dynamic as well, because I have.
You need to mind your fucking business.
You know what? No, for real. Honestly, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I was like, that's what we were trying to get at the whole time.
My bad, dude. Let
I'm
me.
the one asking questions.
I thought it was him and I didn't know you were here.
Should have done a little more research there. Huh?
I thought you listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
But I have one brother from the same mom, same dad. So
Okay.
we're both halfway to Mexican. But then I have one half brother, one half sister, 2 stepbrothers, and 2 stepsisters.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
my half brother and half sister are full Mexican because
Okay.
their mom is Mexican, and then 2 of my steps are full Mexican, and then the other 2 are full white.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
that's
so I'm the oldest of my blood,
blood.
and the youngest of my steps.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any are your parents still together, remarried?
No, God no. I have I have a thing. I was like, I don't know what this is.
I got it,
You're like,
though.
you have
I
your
under-
nails
I
done?
understood-
What's
I
going on? I was like, didn't get a compliment yet. So where is it?
Beautiful nails. We'll cut everything else out.
By the way, great. They look great.
That's what I was going for. So I have me and my sister are same mom, same dad, and then I have a younger brother, same mom, different dad.
Gotcha.
And then I have 2 other brother and sisters, same dad, different mom.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and then I have step, and then
Yeah.
I have this little girl who is a nanny for her, won't leave me alone. All that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, I believe it, dude, because
yeah.
I believe it because I have a lot of I have one step brother.
Yeah.
He's so annoying.
Oh, yeah.
So
You're like,
annoying.
he's dead. I was like, what is happening? Yeah.
He's so annoying, dude.
Yeah.
And when you said don't leave me alone, or they don't leave me alone.
Yeah.
I feel like he's listening to this too.
Yeah.
And he's gonna murder
Oh,
me.
really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. How old is he?
I don't know. I think he's maybe 32 or something like that.
Oh, okay. So you're
But
right on the same age.
yeah, when we were young, he used to get real. He didn't really do drugs. He used to take like handfuls of ibuprofen and then show us his dick a lot when he was
Oh,
young. Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's creative. Okay.
Sounds like a fun guy.
Yeah. I don't see a problem with this.
He can be really cool. Like he can be cool when he's not, having one of his fits.
Episodes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of his episodes.
You're like where he chases us with a belt and foams at the mouth, and we can't go out to eat because he's not done.
I got forever got that dick just like in my brain. Too.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
It's there. Like right now, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
I'm seeing.
I'm
You're
seeing
seeing
dick. Yeah.
I'm seeing that specific
Seeing
dick. To be
that
honest.
dick. Okay.
Wow. But yeah, so I get it. Gerardo, his parents were still together. It must be nice, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
My parents are still together.
Yeah.
Must be
And
fucking
what about
nice,
brothers
dude.
and sisters?
I have one sister. She's killing it. She's like,
She's pretty cool.
she's pretty
I've
cool.
only met her
Older
for
or
like 30
younger?
seconds, but she's pretty cool.
Older. She's
Yeah.
30. How old am I? She's 31.
31. How old are you?
29.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I love how he
was
went
worse
and then
than
gave
your-
it
that
to
was worse than your hand thing
Yeah.
that you did earlier.
Okay. I did my palms earlier.
Yeah. Okay.
Did your
So-
palms?
So, and then my brother is 15.
Okay, so you have a brother and a sister.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they obviously had the brother way later in
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Whoopsie daisies.
Yeah. We thought we were done.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, you didn't get the vasectomy?
yeah,
That.
Dad, you have some explaining to do. And then they all you're from here, right? So everybody's in Claremont,
No, my parents are in Rancho.
Cucamonga.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't think I knew about that, did
Oh,
you?
wow. I
think I knew about Cucamonga,
You didn't think
huh?
I was one of those girls.
I didn't think you could pronounce it. It's Cucamonga.
Cucamonga. Okay, don't disrespect me.
Rancho,
Which I don't know if
Cucamonga.
you guys know, but that actually in Spanish means a field full of large cucumbers. Cucamonga.
I believe it sounds like you're
Sounds
telling the
right.
truth.
I'm like, it sounds right. Whatever.
but it doesn't sound true. But it also sounds true
I was trying to make a joke and you guys didn't laugh.
because it sounds too true.
Yeah,
Oh.
it sounds like I'm like, yeah. I was like, that could be something.
Because
I'm like,
what if I laughed and you're like, no, but it really is called.
yeah,
that.
you're like it's disrespectful.
Yeah. And I would have just disrespected your shitty hometown. you know?
Okay, you could just cut that part out. The joke one.
Rancho Cucamonga is just like more like east of here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
It's not that bad. We have 2 chilies, okay?
We have huge cucumbers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great beef. We got a little off track, but I'm ready to get my fucking beef out, dude.
You want to beef it?
Boom, boom, boom.
Dude, first of all, I didn't know which beef to settle on today. I have a lot,
Okay.
and I guess I'm gonna say this one, and I'm still just down to the wire. My beef right now
What's your beef?
is with people. Because I did take a bus yesterday.
Okay.
Yes, I know.
Oh.
Yes, I know. Get a car.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
get a car.
my license is suspended right now because I refuse to pay parking tickets because I think they're stupid.
Right.
Right.
I hear that.
Does it make sense? No.
Yeah. No.
But am I suffering the consequences? Yes.
They're pretty
Yeah.
cheap when you just pay them right away.
Not anymore, dude. They go up. They go way up.
Not when you pay them right away.
Yeah, but who does that?
Who has time?
Who has the money?
Yeah.
To be honest. Anyway, so I did take the bus yesterday. I drove 2 hours. I drove. I
Okay, were you on the bus or you're not?
rode a bus for 2 hours, did a show, and immediately rode 2 hours back.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you're gonna do drugs on the bus,
Oh,
just stick to the basics. How
Yeah.
about that, dude?
like what?
99.9% sure I saw some guy doing crack on the bus yesterday.
Yikes.
Smoking crack on the bus.
On the bus.
It smelled very chemically.
Yeah.
It was on aluminum foil.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna, first of all, maybe don't do drugs on the bus.
Right.
I resist
Because then
the
people are
urge.
going to ask, like, they're going to want some, and it's like, do
That's
you want to
true.
share?
That's
You're on
very
the
true.
bus. You know
Very
what I
true.
mean?
Everybody on that bus was probably dying for some of that.
They
crack.
wanted some crack. Yeah. And people don't have cash, and I'm sure he doesn't have Venmo.
Yeah.
Absolutely
So
not.
it's like,
Yeah.
How disrespectful.
be
of
smart.
him.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know what? Now I'm taking a different side. Not only was it disrespectful for people who don't want to,
Smells like- yeah.
who don't want to hotbox the bus with crack.
Yeah.
But also for the people who do and can't get any.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure he wasn't trying to share.
Yeah, it's
He
like
didn't
bringing.
say, anybody wanted
yeah,
this?
bringing cookies to class. It's like, I hope you brought one for everyone.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
But also,
just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just like same thing.
exact same
Literally
thing.
same thing.
if you're gonna look, I'm not saying don't do drugs on the bus, but I resist the urge to hit my jewel on the bus. Sometimes I want to take a
Right.
fat rip of my 5% nicotine on the bus, but I'm being
Polite.
polite.
Yeah.
And this dude, I'm just saying, maybe I wouldn't have been so upset if he would have just smoked a bowl, maybe hit a little weed pen.
Right.
Maybe if he would have done a line of coke, I would have been less upset. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're doing a line of coke, that's going all up your nostrils.
Right.
Right. But if you're blowing out crack smoke everywhere and all the windows are closed on the bus, and I chose the seat that's right next to you, I might get a little secondhand high.
Yeah.
That explains why you ran up and down the stairs 5 times.
Yeah, dude, I haven't slept in 3 days. But yeah, it was so crazy to me because he was trying to hide it, but then he was like blowing the smoke everywhere, and I'm such a fucking.
How old was this guy, and like, did he look like what was his like appearance? Was he like homeless looking, or was he like regular?
Scary part was he looked very normal,
affluent.
Wow.
Affluent.
Yeah, like normal.
I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you were busting out the vocabulary right now.
Oh, sorry, spell it.
It's like, sorry.
But yeah, I would say so. Very normal. He looked like maybe he was around my age.
Okay, like
maybe.
Yeah. Well, you look young. You don't look 30.
Well, I mean, he looked 30. Let's
oh,
say.
okay.
Yeah,
He looked 30. Yeah.
Look at those wrinkles.
It's like I would like to point that out. Let's zoom in somewhere.
Zoom in,
Yeah.
I'm falling apart. I really am. But he looked very normal. He did not look like someone who would be doing crack.
Right.
And not to profile anybody,
Right.
but I heard the lighter going, and I was like, oh, okay, don't really want him to smoke weed right now. But
right.
Fuck it, whatever.
Right.
Then
You had a rough day.
Yeah. Then I look over and I see the aluminum foil. I see everything else. I smell a science experiment.
Yeah.
Wow.
It does smell very sciencey.
I kind of wish I was there.
I mean, yeah.
Was it like an experience?
Here's the weak part of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I grew up and I purposely put myself in a lot of bad situations. My dad would always made me feel like,
here we go with this dad again.
Yeah,
we got 45 minutes.
Which one?
About you have a job.
That's very funny. My dad always made it seem like his life was super hard and like I had no right to complain about anything. So I purposely put myself in very shitty situations so that I felt like I was on equal playing field.
Right.
Equal playing field with him. So I've been around a lot of shit, you know.
Right.
Was it of my own doing? Sure. But I've been around a lot of shit. When I was in this situation, I just didn't want to be there. I'm like, that's like old, young, stupid Josh.
Right.
I don't want to be around this right now. But I also didn't really have the balls to move seats.
Right.
Because I don't want this guy to think I'm a punk.
Yeah.
I don't want him to think, like, look at this bitch walking down there. Sitting in the front
it's
of the
just
bus.
crack.
It's just cracked up. Yeah.
So I just like I was in this weird position where like I wanted to sit there, and I also didn't want to be one of those guys that looked like he bothered him. One of those guys, one of those like, you know, those shitty white women who cough when someone's smoking a cigarette 5 feet away.
Or
from them?
like when someone, like a guy walks by, like a Mexican guy, and then she clutches her purse.
Right.
Like you feel like you're like, am I doing that? But you know what I mean? And you're like, no, someone's doing crack. Like that's okay to walk away. Yeah. But I feel like there's times I do that shit too. I'm like, I don't want this person to think. I'm like, this guy clearly has a gun. I'm like, nope. Like I'm cool with everything. And it's like, no, you got to go.
Same.
There's a gun.
Same.
Yeah.
I was positive, by the way. This is a same bus, different guy. I was positive that a dude had a gun.
Yeah.
On the bus, and he was sitting behind me.
Yeah.
So I turned into like fucking, I don't even know if Sherlock Holmes is the right thing, but I positioned myself in a way to where I'm looking not at the person, but through the reflection of the bus.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the person through the reflection.
Yeah.
And I'll also do one of these things. Check this move out. See
check this move out.
Yeah, check this move out. Tell me if it's a little too aggressive or if it's like smooth, right? We're on a bus. Something shady's happening. I hear someone talking to themselves or saying some pretty outrageous shit, but I have my earphones in.
Right.
I don't want to go like this and pull it out because then it looks like I'm trying to listen.
Right.
What I'll do is I'll have my arms crossed and I'll grab it down here, and then I'll move like this and I'll pull it down a little bit. So now I can hear everything.
Wow,
so
James Bond and the training.
But also, why don't I just take my phone? Who gives a fuck if anybody thinks I'm listening to them?
Right.
Why am I doing all this crazy
stuff?
shit?
Yeah, just to be. Yeah, no.
You're an adrenaline junkie. That's why.
I don't know why. Why does that make me an adrenaline junkie?
Because you think you're Tom Cruise, dude.
I do feel like Tom Cruise in those moments.
Yeah.
I think I'm so smart in those moments.
You're just like
just pulling the earphone out a little bit. But yeah, I always have to hear. And you know what? Can I say this too? You're welcome, everybody else on the bus. Because if something goes down, I'm on high alert, dude.
Right. Yeah. And now you also just inhaled a little bit of crack. So it's like your energy's through the roof and
Dude,
you're
I
adrenaline.
I would literally take a bullet for a stranger because I'm high on crack. right now.
Yeah. You're like, this doesn't affect me. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Everybody else, there's a kid, a sweet young kid.
Yeah.
He was asleep, dude. He was asleep. A lot of other people on their phone while all this madness is happening.
Right.
And I'm the only one that's like, okay, if anything goes, I'm looking at an exit strategy. Who am I going to save first? I'm already thinking of that.
Yeah. It's very thoughtful. Very thoughtful.
That's what I want to say. You're welcome.
the bus hero. Someone's got to be, and you stepped up.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No one else
stepped up.
really appreciated it or didn't even really seem to
Yeah.
notice. And if anything, they all probably thought that they could beat me up. But I had their backs.
Let me get this straight. Your beef is with a guy that was smoking crack on a bus, but you're not gonna, I don't know, drop his name?
I didn't ask him what his name was.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm not saying
Good
don't.
point.
Look, we're on the bus. It's shitty. We're all in a shitty position. So I'm not saying don't do drugs.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying don't do crack.
Okay, you
Right.
should
I'm
be,
just saying.
but,
Yeah. You should be saying that. But yeah.
No, if you're in a shitty position,
Yeah.
just do a little crack. you
Right.
know?
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I always get mad when people when they're passing homeless people. I'm like, oh, just give them $1. Like, who cares? Just give them $1. And they're like, they're just gonna buy drugs. I'm like, good. They're sleeping on the fucking sidewalk. Let them
For
buy
real.
drugs. Like, do you want to sleep outside? Like, I hope he's buying crack. I hope he is. Like,
hope.
are you gonna house him? Are you gonna feed him? Are you gonna take
Yeah.
care of him? So let him get crack.
Let him get crack, dude.
Let him get through this any way he can. And then people are always like, well, that doesn't help that. I'm like, nothing helps them right
Not really.
now. Like, I hope he does get better. But until then, I'm like, make sleeping on the sidewalk on Hollywood Boulevard as enjoyable as possible. And I really don't think people are buying crack. I'm like, do you know how much crack is?
Crack, and you know,
Like,
yeah.
they're getting they're maybe getting like $8 a day. I know crack isn't $8.
Oh, no
like,
way crack is $8.
you know what I mean? I was like, not that we
I
look
don't-
at you. We're
I
like,
don't know.
how
I
much
don't
is
know how
it?
much crack
He knows how much crack goes
Racho
for right around.
Cucamonga. How
Right
much is
about
it?
I thought crack was cheap.
No,
It's definitely cheaper than cocaine for sure.
yeah, but it's still like compared to like it's not like you can like go in with $5 and be like, hey, and they're like, well, here's your crack.
Let me get a
Like,
nickel bag of crack. Huh?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you can get crack for $10 though.
Yeah.
okay.
Wouldn't be
I was like, oh, okay.
All I'm saying, my beef is with if you're gonna do drugs on the bus, make them either something that doesn't involve smoke.
Give us all a party favor.
Yeah.
You know, if you're like I said,
Yeah.
if you're like
Give a hit for all of us.
Hello.
yeah, like I said, if you're gonna do something, you could do crack other ways than just smoke it,
Right.
right?
How,
I
Josh?
don't know.
I'm not gonna give you a tutorial
Yeah.
right now, but
If
I
you
will
don't
show you guys
know,
later.
You don't know. you ain't in the know.
Okay, push a T.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I'm saying, dude. And if
Right.
you're, you know what, and just be a little bit more considerate. Maybe I don't want to do crack right
Right.
now. Maybe I don't want to be hotboxed.
Not on
right
a
now.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
It was
what I
a-
mean?
yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
Monday, it's totally different.
Depends on the day. You don't know what kind of day I had. Maybe I already
Right.
did a lot of crack.
Right.
And I
Right.
don't,
Oh,
and I don't need a little bit more crack.
Yeah,
to
and
put
I'm
me
going
over the
home to
edge.
see the kids and like
Exactly.
I know where my crack limit is,
Yeah.
and I know when I'm about to be pushed over the limit.
Right.
So you were doing crack
Wait, what?
before you got on the bus? You were doing crack?
He said he was at a show. Are you not listening?
Obviously. So yeah,
I
you were
was
definitely doing
yeah, I
crack.
was definitely doing crack.
Yeah, this is what comics do. Have you been to a green room?
Yeah,
Amateur.
there was a lot of pizza there though,
Yeah.
and that pizza was like crack. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, turn his mic off. Turn it off.
Damn.
But that's my beef, dude.
That was a great beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something that happened recently and it's bothering me.
Yeah.
And so
As recent as yesterday.
as recent as
That's
yesterday.
That's pretty recent.
Yeah, dude. What is your beef though? I'm really excited to hear what your beef is.
Oh, you guys want my beef?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear beef?
Yep.
I got a beef.
I'm ready.
My beef today is with I don't know if you guys have seen this. Like people, affluent people,
Wait, what does that mean?
like rich people
Okay.
Yeah.
that have like servants hold umbrellas for them.
Uh-huh.
In movies,
Exactly.
but never in real life. Have you ever seen that in real life?
Yeah, the British royal family. Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out.
Have you ever seen the British royal family in real life? Is what I'm asking you.
No, no. But I have been on movie sets. I run the
Right.
movie industry, and I've seen people like have somebody walk around with an umbrella.
Right. I feel like I've seen it with P. Diddy, actually.
P. Diddy?
Yeah, he used to have that reality television show. They're like, you get to compete to be my assistant and have the worst job ever. And people did it. And that I don't know if that guy won from that show. What was his like famous like assistant, like Benjamin Barnesworth or what? Do you guys know?
I don't know.
I was like, why do I know this?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy. And
Yeah.
he would literally like hold an umbrella for Diddy. Like he would do like there are like celebrities who like.
I don't know why I'm picturing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air butler right now.
Oh no, but he does kind of like dress like Carlton, like what's his face? P. Diddy's person like dressed like that. He was like a very like dorky, taller Carlton. Yeah.
What is your beef with those people though? What did they ever like?
Hold the umbrella.
I guess that person can just hold the umbrella. Sure.
Is it the people who? Yeah. So your beef is with the people who make people hold the umbrellas.
Fonzworth Bentley.
Fonzworth Bentley. Yeah. See, I was fucking close.
Fonzworth Bentley. Now, what's the name of the guy from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? What was his name?
Carlton.
Not Carlton.
Oh,
they're.
Oh,
I guess
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Look, he really took to the umbrella game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
we have a picture with him with an umbrella. Yeah.
Wow, dude, he is. If anybody should be holding an umbrella, I mean, that guy's pulling it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
It does
he
look
looks
like a
great.
musical about umbrellas.
I mean, I was expecting some. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest, but that guy looks great.
Right. Yeah.
wow, he really does hold the umbrella everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Show another picture. Let me see.
See, as you can see here, that's P. Diddy, and probably I'm not putting my finger on that girl's ass.
I mean, you definitely 100% just did do that.
Wow. Fonzworth Bentley, dude. He's real
Yeah.
serious about it too.
Dude, he
Right.
takes his job very seriously. And let me say that he also gets to cover himself with the umbrella too.
Right. So it's like
It's a win-win.
it is a benefit. Yeah.
And when you search P. Diddy's umbrella and you come up, dude, you made it. You know what I mean?
That's
yeah,
pretty
no,
dope.
he's like he has like fame himself just from like being like a lot of people like know who he is, like just from being like I don't know any other celebrities like assistant, but it's like I know that guy because he's always dressed super nice and he's always like he's just right there.
I'm gonna say he looks cooler than P. Diddy in that picture.
Yeah, he does.
He definitely
He
looks
actually
like
does. Yeah.
he looks like he's about to go. Like he looks like a professor of some sort.
Yeah.
Like he's late for class.
Right. He looks like he turned like he's a professor. He looks like it's like a Marvel movie. It's like he's a professor, but he's gonna turn into some
Dude,
you know what I mean? He's about to
Falcon.
transform. Yeah.
Wow.
Is that Marvel? I don't know. I was like,
know.
is that Marvel?
He's gonna be like he can fly away. I feel like he looks like he
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
fly away with that umbrella.
Yeah, the
yeah.
umbrella has superpowers.
I
Yeah.
mean, he has superpowers, but he uses like you know the umbrella is like Thor's hammer. to
He's
him.
fused with the umbrella.
Right. I mean, we could work
Okay.
out the details,
Yeah.
but he's
No.
obviously a superhero.
And
Yeah.
his name is perfect for a
Yeah.
superhero.
What's his name again?
Fonzworth Bentley.
Whoa,
Fonzworth
dude.
Bentley. Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
He maybe is a superhero.
He is.
Like I
100%.
feel like we're unraveling this conspiracy, but it's like I don't know. I don't think he
Tupac
could be
died.
trusted.
What's the fat guy's name? Biggie. wait. Biggie died.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he comes up.
Suge Knight's in
Suspicious.
jail.
Yep.
Dr. Dre is a part of
Yeah.
the Illuminati's.
Right. P. Diddy's just been coasting
Yeah.
the whole entire
Wow.
time, and he's the assistant with an umbrella.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on, we know
Dude,
what that,
umbrella
means.
Yeah.
I feel like is bulletproof. It's
Yeah.
also a gun.
Yeah.
You know, it's also
also-
everything.
It's a shield.
Yeah,
like it
he like
protect-
spins
yeah.
it and like stops bullets from coming.
Absolutely.
That's Penguin.
Oh yeah.
We're
Which is-
really fleshing this guy's
Yeah. We should do this for 38 minutes.
Yeah. Have you guys seen those umbrellas that double as shotguns?
No,
No.
but I've seen what's that movie? The Kingsman with
Oh,
Colin
oh,
Firth.
I
Yeah, I
think-
feel like they
I
do
think
that.
that's where I
Like,
got
yeah.
that from.
Have
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't think it's a real thing. Then I think I literally got that.
I was like, I feel like that's in a movie.
To be
That movie
honest-
was badass, though. I
Yeah.
like that movie.
I wouldn't be surprised if you thought that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess they do.
Umbrella. Okay, that's literally a shotgun as an umbrella.
You're like, that's literally what that is. Yeah.
But look at that. Maybe the Kingsman is plagiarizing this.
Yeah, maybe. We're just uncovering a lot about Hollywood
I
right
know.
now.
Is there something you want to tell us, Gerardo? Because you're in the movie business. You run the
What do
movie
you
industry.
know?
No, but Kingsman was a different people's. That's so. Look at this. That's the trigger.
That's cool.
You have to like only be needing to use the shotgun if you're gonna use the umbrella.
yeah, you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be like I'm gonna stroll around just in case with a
Yeah,
and then you
yeah,
shoot it.
yeah.
Although I guess if you did just shoot, if you're holding the umbrella, you could just shoot upward accidentally, and that's
Right.
not really.
That's what people think. But if you shoot upward, guess what? What goes up must come down.
I knew
Which
that.
is the
Yeah,
P. Diddy
I knew
song,
that.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
wait.
What
Is
goes
it
up must come
come
down.
down?
But we ain't coming down. We just the same old clowns.
I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna take your word
I
for
think.
it.
Yeah. I think that sounds right.
you know what?
Yeah.
Let's just look it up.
Okay, but your beef. Okay, now you're talking about shotgun umbrellas. Your beef is with people that hold umbrellas. Yet Fonzworth Bentley is the coolest
It's
dude I've ever
pretty
seen
awesome.
in my
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
But
So-
you don't care about the people holding the umbrella. You don't like the people
Yeah.
who need someone else to hold the umbrella.
And you know what's worse? People that demand it. Like, where's my umbrella? And then this,
Yeah.
that kind of
You've
shit.
seen people do that in real life, or are you just assuming that that's how they act?
That's more in the movies.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Like Devil Wears Prada. Give
Right.
me my umbrella.
Right.
I'm so
Bless
sorry.
you.
I can't believe you just
Yeah,
did.
Yeah,
you're not
I
allowed
was
to.
like-
You're not allowed to sneeze on the podcast.
It's really weird. Our cat feels, like it's
Like
about him.
It's,
Yeah.
it's his fault. He feels very weird about it now.
So thanks
Where
for
is
making my
Monty?
cat sad.
I don't know. I could really care less, to be honest, because he took the fattest shit
Oh, yeah.
right before this podcast started.
Right when we
Yeah.
started.
Right, but they gotta do what they gotta do.
I guess.
you know?
Anyway, I think that you would you be, if you got to a level of fame, would you be someone that demanded an umbrella?
Maybe if I did it, it would be like an Instagram story content.
Bless you, buddy.
Thank
As a
you.
joke?
Sorry. Yeah.
Will Instagram be here when I'm famous? Who knows?
That's
But
for sure.
whatever the Instagram story of the day is, I'd be like, I got my Fonzworth Bentley here.
Yeah.
Right.
I would only have somebody hold my umbrella if it was Fonzworth Bentley.
Right,
I
right,
want to
right.
get so successful that I could pay Fonzworth Bentley more than P. Diddy's paying.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, though, but maybe not a good look for me.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to get a white dude.
Yeah. Not a good look for me. 'Cause,
Yeah.
But, fuck.
I wonder if we got
Fonzworth
Fonzworth Bentley.
Yeah.
It's only the easiest name to pronounce.
Bless
Oh,
you.
I'm so sorry.
Are
I don't
you
know what I'm
allergic to
saying.
blue walls?
Yeah, I was like a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
If we got Fonzworth Bentley on the podcast,
That'd be amazing.
no, but
No.
P. Diddy. wait.
That'd be amazing.
That's not what I'm trying to say. Obviously, fucking Fonzworth Bentley is my idol, but but P. Diddy would have to come.
Wouldn't have to come.
Okay, I could.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still his assistant. I wonder.
That's a good thing.
He's
to
like,
Google.
well, we'll find out.
Or because, like, maybe P. Diddy is also a vampire of some sort, but he could just stay inside while Fonzworth comes and does the podcast.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we would never want P. Diddy on the podcast.
He's always like, me.
Yeah,
I'm so
I didn't-
successful.
I
Like,
didn't murder
did
anybody.
everything.
I didn't
Yeah.
murder anybody.
I'm innocent. I broke up with J-Lo. Yeah.
Did they go out?
Yeah, they used
What?
to date. Where were you?
I was probably.
No, you're only a couple years younger than me, so
Yeah.
you were the fuck around. Okay, they met on a music video set. I want to say, "Been Around the World." Been around the world, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the song.
And
I mean,
she's-
come on.
I was like, "Do you?"
It was a
Sing the next
classic.
fucking verse.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sing the next verse.
What goes up must come down. Yeah.
But yeah, they. I think she was in the music video, and they met. I want to say, did that? Yeah, no, she was successful. Okay, that's when they first met, but then I think he was like married. And then when she was like successful, because she was definitely like acting and like singing, like when they were like dating, and that was like right around when that
Selena's?
it was after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then I feel like he was going to court for something, and then that's like kind of when they broke up. I don't know why I know all this shit, but yeah.
Shout out J-Lo, dude. That's
No, I
my
mean-
mom's favorite celebrity.
Oh really,
J-Lo, which
yeah.
I feel like says a lot about my mom. She's definitely a huge J-Lo fan.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say huge ass. I was like, like mom's got a huge ass, and
Hey, look,
she respects women with huge asses. Yeah.
My mom, fat ass on her. Let me tell you that.
Let me tell you what. And you're like,
dude.
and I get it from my mama. Like,
I hate his mom.
oh,
My mom
I
would have
really-
a heart attack if she heard me joke that she had a fat ass.
Oh my
really?
God.
Oh, is she like super like conservative?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stand her.
Because tell her why.
Do you
No,
know
you
her?
go ahead and tell her
No,
why.
you go ahead and tell her why.
I'm gonna
You're
get
the one with
mad.
the fucking problem.
Yeah.
dude.
Oh boy.
As you can see, I did make coffee earlier and I didn't drink any of it.
And you didn't
Okay.
offer
Wow.
anybody any coffee to anybody
Do you
either.
guys
so
want coffee?
what the
Wait,
fuck
does
is the
your
point
mom?
of
I
making
don't
it?
drink coffee, but does your mom come here a lot?
No, she lives in Virginia, but she came here to visit
For
a
a
week.
long time.
A week.
It was the longest life of my week. Week of my life. Okay.
Yeah.
I just bought my Mr. Coffee maker.
Okay.
And honestly, the best coffee maker I've ever had.
Right.
Keurig's.
Right. There's expensive too.
Out the window. I don't like Keurig's.
Okay.
I grind my own coffee. I take pride in my coffee consumption. Okay. I make 12 cups a day and I go to work and I drink my coffee. So when she came in town, I'm going to draw this out, dude.
I know you are.
I never got a chance to explain it on the podcast. We never put that episode out.
Go ahead.
And if you're out there, Josh's mom, I'm glad you're not here. How about that, huh?
Okay.
Huh?
Uh-oh. This is getting
Okay,
dicey.
so I had just bought the coffee maker, right? And I'm making the coffee, washing the coffee pot.
Yeah.
And, putting it back, going to work. And then every day I came back from work, there was coffee left, like a little bit of coffee left in the coffee pot. And I fucking knew it. But I didn't say anything because it was just a week. Just a fucking week. Just a week.
Wait, you didn't like that she was using your coffee?
No, she could use it. You could use my coffee.
Just that it wasn't empty when he was ready to use it.
No. It's not clean. It's not clean. And I like it clean after I get my coffee out of the fucking coffee pot. It served its purpose. There's no need to have just fucking coffee resin on the fucking bottom of the coffee maker.
That's how you get good flavor, dude.
How? How is that good flavor?
You have to let it ferment the previous brew.
Nope.
And you get more flavor that way. It becomes a more robust. I know you don't know a lot about coffee, but it becomes more robust that way.
I know a lot about coffee. I think it better ferments with soap in the pot.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I would rather ferment soap than fucking ferment your mom's old ass coffee.
Wow, dude.
Anyway. But that's why. Anyway, sorry. I had to get that out.
Does she know?
No.
Oh, no. My mom, she's a sweet woman.
Yeah.
Very sweet lady.
That's what you think.
She's a sweet white woman.
That's what you think.
She's a sweet white woman who lives in Virginia.
She did leave a lot of coffee filters, and I appreciate her for that. And they were organic. So
and they were organic. Yeah. You know what I mean? So she made up for it. Yeah.
She is like a textbook. She's a kindergarten teacher.
Oh,
she
sweetie.
Wears a lot of jean.
You say she wears a lot of jeans?
Like jean dresses, with school buses on them and stuff. And apples.
She's like Mrs. Frizzle.
Yeah.
Oh,
If she hears a curse word on TV, like she acts like it's crawling out of the TV and hitting her in the face. She's like, like she doesn't.
Oh my God, so sweet.
She's pretty cool,
And my dad is disgusting.
Yeah.
So I don't know how
it's like completely opposite.
Yeah, that's good. That's how you get balance. Yeah.
It's crazy. Growing up with the two of them is really weird.
Banana. How old were you when they were divorced?
Since I was like 3. I have no memory of them actually really being together.
Gotcha.
But I do have videotapes.
Yeah.
And they looked miserable.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a VHS of them opening up gifts that they got each other on Christmas, and my mom's literally like, wow.
Oh my God.
It's like very sad.
Did you ever ask either of them? You're like, what did you like about mom? What did you like about dad? Like, why? How did you guys
My dad
date?
would have probably said something pretty gross. He would have probably said,
mentioned
got her
fat
pregnant
ass.
and how to marry her or whatever.
I mean, no, he did tell me that he did have sex with my mom on the first date. He did, but he didn't say sex. He said fucked.
Yeah.
But my mom...
he just stares off into space.
Yeah.
My mom... I've never asked him, actually.
Yeah.
But I know what my dad would say. It'd be fucking nasty.
Right,
And
right.
My mom, I don't know what she would say, but I've never asked.
You should ask. It's always like weird to me, like when we don't like talk to our parents, like people always just see like mom and dad, but like the older you get, you're like, oh, that's a complete individual human, and like they had a, you know what I mean, like imagine like any of your exes and then like you had to like go to their house still even though you are dating somebody else. Crazy. Or like you hate them, or like they are someone who did something really fucked up and like you have to see that person every day. It's like that's what they were constantly doing when we were younger. Well, not you, Mr. Prissy.
Wow,
perfect family.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Picture perfect.
Sorry, we love each other. We're like, okay, gay.
Your mom loves your dad.
Gross.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah. But it's so like I've just always been like that. I'm a type of person, like nobody, like I don't even like my grandpa who's like the most like conservative, like religious person. And I'm like, did you have sex before you met grandma? And they're like, oh my God, like Jesus. And it's like, I've just always been a person where I just don't shy away from like conversation. But like, I think you need to ask your mom and dad how they fucked. I'm just kidding. But I mean, just ask them like their story because it's super interesting. Even your grandparents.
I'm down, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really, I don't want to hear it from my dad, but I like to. This is the thing. If you're gonna be like weird about shit,
Right.
then you have to be prepared for when people like. I want to ask my mom absurd and outrageous questions because I know she's gonna react so
right.
like she's gonna act so like freaked out by
Josh,
it. She's gonna be like,
no.
yeah.
Yeah.
I never have those feelings. Josh.
Yeah. I don't even have a vagina.
I don't poop.
Like I remember one time she went to the pharmacy to pick up I think she was picking up birth control pills and she like was trying to hide them from me and I picked them out of the bag and I started commenting on them and she like freaked out. And she got so embarrassed. But you have to know that that's gonna make me want to fuck with you more.
Yeah.
you know?
And they kind of look like candy, so you're like, is this for me as well? Yeah.
Now, they also don't really look like anything else.
Yeah. Right.
They do
Exactly.
definitely
You're like,
look
it's
like
definitely birth control.
I'm
Yeah.
like, is this only candy that you can eat on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Like, you can
No,
only eat-
every day you have to take a Josh every day.
but it's got, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I come from a very traditional family.
Mm.
Both my parents, their parents are both called Francisco and Francisca
Oh wow.
on both sides.
Wow.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
And are your parent like? I mean, you don't have to expose it, but do you think that they're happily married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I do. I
Really?
mean, before probably not, but
Right.
now,
Like they've
yeah.
like went through some like dips and some
Yeah.
pivots.
I think more so they just didn't like their kids. I think they've always been happily married.
Really?
Yeah.
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 Right. I mean,
I mean, if I had you as a kid,
yeah. You're
I
like
mean,
Jesus.
Bundle of joy, right?
Yeah.
bundle of love.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were gonna give birth to a gym rat.
Oh wow!
I'm a gym rat.
Wow.
But they and like, what do they think about you doing comedy?
They don't like it.
Really?
My mom's the one that got me into comedy,
Oh, like you mean like getting you to like watch comedy or like telling you to do comedy?
telling me to do comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like, I was thinking about this today. I didn't know comedy existed, like stand-up comedy, for a long time.
What do you mean?
So I remember.
Like, what do you
I just thought about this today too.
Yeah.
College Humor had this show called like Prank Wars. You guys remember Prank Wars?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys,
I think so.
one of the pranks was the guy's doing stand-up, and he's gonna have the whole rest of the audience not react to anything.
Yeah.
But they didn't say stand-up. I'm just telling you guys stand-up because that's what it was.
Right.
But at the time, I was like, why is this guy talking to a bunch of fucking random people to begin with? Like,
Wait, how old are you at this point?
47.
I had to have been in high school.
And you had never seen like stand-up
That's
clips of
I've heard stand-up. I've seen probably stand-up. I didn't know the word stand-up. Like, I didn't know what stand-up was.
right.
I just
I think
thought it
it's
was people
because-
speaking.
when when your parents love each other, you don't need to seek out laughter. I think because there's so much joy in your home.
Right.
Like, because the first stand-up I fucking knew it was stand-up was Dane Cook.
Right.
Retaliation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? And
Yeah.
like, it's Dane Cook.
Right. And how old were you at that point?
It was 2007. We
Yeah,
were
so
going to
you're-
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. So you were like familiar with like what stand-up comedians were.
Yeah.
But like you just like didn't know like that's what it was called.
Yeah. Or
like,
that it was a job, or like that's what they
Right.
do. I thought this was just everyone likes this guy. They want to hear him speak. I thought it was just like
You
a
were in
celebrity.
high school?
Yeah, 2007
Wow.
was when the first time I asked my cousin what this was, and he told me it was Dane Cook.
That's so interesting.
What do your parents think about you doing stand-up?
I mean, they kind of know, but like I don't talk to really like either of my parents. Like I haven't talked to, not to be like, I haven't talked to my dad in like 12 years. I just start crying. I'm like, "Man."
But your nails look great though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then my mom, like I only will like talk to her if I'm like back home, like visiting. But she like they know I do stand up, but like they don't. My dad doesn't know I do stand up. I think he doesn't know because I haven't talked to him in forever. But like I think my sisters might have told him in passing. But like my mom, like she knows. But it's like she always like knew I was like funny. So like she's not like surprised, but she like definitely hasn't heard like my bits about her. But yeah, like my mom's just like one of those. She's not like somebody who's like nurturing or like, oh, like good job, sweetie. Like I'll talk to her. Like she does like acid still, like in the middle of the woods,
great.
and like she's like, oh, I got fucked up on K last night. I cheated on my boyfriend, and I'm like, cool. Like
I
she's
feel like from an outsider's point of view, my first reaction is like, oh, that sounds dope. But then like, if that's your mom, you're like, it's exhausting.
for sure. And like they're both degenerates, and like I mean real degenerates. house. Like she doesn't have internet still to this day. Like she like just got like a free car. Like she just like they both like just have never had their shit together. So like when I tell people stories, it's like obviously usually like funny, but like as a kid you're like, hey, can one of you be a mom or a dad? Like that'd be helpful because I have some homework I need help with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like again, I'm a firm believer like everything happens for a reason. It's like, and if I didn't have two fucked up parents, I wouldn't be this hilarious. And I probably wouldn't have the balls to like live on my own since I was like 17. And like I came out here like by myself at like 19, like packed a car, like I have like that whole classic story. And I just like, I was like, fuck it. I was like, I literally have nothing here and I can't stand these people. So it was like super easy for me. I haven't been doing stand-up since I was 19, but I was like, you know, I was like, I knew I wanted to do something with writing, but I didn't know exactly what. So I was like, oh, I'm going to be an actor and then I'll yell at everybody and then I'll tell everybody that I want to write movies. And because I'm a successful actor, they have to let me. Like, that's what I thought it was. Right. I was like, oh, I just have to say the stupid lines or whatever. And then I'll start telling people what the lines are. And they're like, that's just what I thought. And then I went to like a couple acting classes and I was like, this is therapy. I hate all of you. Like,
it does seem like that,
it's literally cheap therapy. And that's why I'm not saying there's not real actors that are whatever. Yeah. But most actors, the reason why they get addicted to acting class is because it's like the first time where they're peeling back things about themselves and like it's like doing astrology or numerology where it's like it's all about you and they're like, how does comfort make you feel? So in this scene and and they're like, comfort reminds me with my dad, and then they cry and then they do the scene, they're like, oh, that was fabulous, and you're like, you guys just need like shut up, I hate this. So then I was like, that's not it. And then I did improv and sketch for like 6 years. And I was like, this is kindergarten. This is adult kindergarten. And like, I do have like respect for, there are some good people at improv, not a lot of them, but the ones who are actually really good, I do have a tremendous amount of respect for them. But most of them are trash. They're mostly people. Wow. And I did it for 6 years, so it's not, and like I did Groundlings, I did UCB, I graduated from Second City Conservatory, like I really like was like involved, and I was like, this is just literally just like I'm paying to be an adult kindergarten class, and it's like everybody's like, I'm a goofy girl, and they're just like it's a lot of stupidity. But I did that for a while, and I was like, every time I'd be like in a class or something with like a teacher, they'd be like, oh, you do stand up, right? And I was like, no. And they're like, you need to do stand up. And like, I kind of just like kept putting it off. So like, I didn't even start stand up until I was like 27.
I started when I was 25, I think.
Yeah, I'm 33 now. I was like, but I was like, cut that out.
Your nails look great.
Yeah. I was like, I look young, right? Is the appropriate response.
You do look very young.
You're like, I'm 33. And I'm like, yeah, makes sense.
You're like, You're like, oh, they're 35. I'm like, did she just break through fucking aluminum with her nails?
And she's not bleeding either. It's very scary.
I'm a scary girl.
But to be fair, everybody like I think is bad at most things. Yeah. So like I think that like when it comes to like improv people and acting classes. Yeah. Anything creatively, I feel like most people are bad at it.
Oh, for sure.
Majority.
This guy.
Right. I think people get inspired, and like once you feel inspired, you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing that. It's like, no, you're inspired. Yeah. Like, so once they watch a really good movie or they watch good stand-up or they watch Jon Stewart and they're inspired, they're like, oh, I need to be doing that. You're like, no, you're just inspired. That's like what that's how it's supposed to make you feel. But then these people come off their inspiration, and because inspiration feels very true and connected to yourself, you're like, no, I know this is my thing. And I'm like, it's not your thing because you'd have some natural talent.
Right. Yeah. Or there'd be, like we've both talked about, I think the longest period of time we've both taken off from stand-up is like a 3-month period. Right. And we took it around the same time, but separately. And we both talk about how we went insane. Yeah. Like I became a horrible person. Right. Like it was crazy. This guy was bad. it was like right before I got sober too, so I was like drinking a lot. Yeah. Like it really like it not doing it, not having that, and not being able to like, I don't know, just do that.
Right. Why did you quit? Like, why did you both quit different? Like, I mean, not quit, but why did you guys like take?
I got sober.
Right.
and I didn't do stand up for like 3 months. I only did shows that I had already
had booked
before I got sober.
Right.
So it was like 4 shows in the span of 3 months.
Gotcha.
And the first show I was just like,
yeah.
And then, but I did really well.
Right.
And then I did an open mic right after that, and I was like, oh, it's like fucking all coming back to me again.
Right.
But like not in a good way where I wanted to like, get fucked up. And then so I didn't do stand up for a while, and then I got sober, and then I broke up with my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And everything fucking went to shit, and then I started going to Fourth Wall all the time after 3 months.
Yeah.
And I fucking ate dicks at Fourth Wall for like a while.
That's funny. I go to Fourth Wall a lot too. People shit on that place, but I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'll go and like, I'm like, that's why I like work out bits, and then I will go to another mic and then be like, see, it's so perfect already.
I loved Fourth Wall.
Yeah.
I used to live out there in Glendale. And I loved going to the Fourth Wall and fucking bombing bad because I hadn't done stand up for a long time.
Right.
And then I came out here and fucking killed it. Right, guys?
That's all the time we have for today.
Yeah. I was like, we're done. But you guys got sober around the same time?
Yeah.
3 or 4 months.
So I got sober in September 21st. Do you remember
the time
the 21st?
Oh, I thought you were singing Michael Jackson. Sorry.
Wait, no, it's Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh.
The 21st night of September.
No, it's Michael Jackson. Just agree with the guest, dude. Agree
No,
with
that is
101.
Yeah, I'm a female. Hello.
I thought you were gonna say you're a fiend for burping. I'm a burp fiend.
Hello.
And then he got sober. 2 days from now is his year of sobriety.
Yeah.
Or when this podcast comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's good that you guys did it like almost like together, because that'd be really hard to like live together with one being sober and one not.
Well, I mean, his brother.
My brother's still in his disease. Let's just say that.
In his disease.
He's probably upstairs right now fucking smoking a peace pipe.
Yeah,
Right.
Maybe crack.
He was the guy on the bus.
I didn't want to name names. Yeah.
No, yeah. It definitely helped a lot. And,
Right.
I mean, I took 3 months off. I mean, I got to a point where it just, I was just mad. I was angry at everything.
Right.
At everything, at everybody. Like, I had started to like, I think it was like I had done it for like 4 years consistently, and I was starting to see like sides of people and things that like
how people network and politic and
still bothers me.
Yeah. It's hard. It really is hard. I mean, I battle with it too. So like, I'm not like, I just know where it's like, you just, people who get things like, say like if it's nepotism or say it's like they get an opportunity, I'm like, it's the same thing. Like, say my dad like coached the Dallas Cowboys or whatever. Sorry if we hate that team. No. But I'm like, if my dad coached the Dallas Cowboys and I get somebody who's not deserving an audition or whatever they do, what, tryouts, not auditions, whatever. Yeah, I get them a thing, sports, so. And everybody's pissed. Like, that person doesn't deserve it. That person's not good enough. That person's not talented. And all those things are true. And then who's the quarterback of the Cowboys? Does anybody know?
No idea.
Let's just call him John. When John, I was
great
like,
quarterback.
John. I was like, have you looked at his stats?
Actually.
Yeah. But like when John goes to throw a pass, it's like, he's not going to catch it.
Yeah.
So it's like, let them get all those, because I know we can name names after this is done recording. I know a lot of people's stories of like they got something, whether it's Stephen Colbert or whether it's a audition for SNL or whether it's
Conan.
Whatever it is, and it's like they weren't released or they bombed them or that, and it's like, not saying that like you're happy for that, but it's like if you do get things that you're not ready for, it's like they're the only person that'll suffer the consequences is them. Yeah. There are people who have specials that we've all watched and we're like, for real? Yeah. And you're like, you wanted it that bad and now it's not good and now what? So it's like, I don't think it's never going to affect you, as stupid as that sounds. Like, it really does not affect you. And like, because there's constantly like people will search for like what's good. Like Andrew Schulz is like a perfect example. Like he talks about like how he kept getting denied, like Netflix, Showtime, HBO, like everybody kept denying a special, and he's like, fuck it, I'll go to YouTube. And he went on YouTube, and now he's like one of the biggest he has like about 1 million subscribers. I don't even think like I don't know what Theo or like Crystalia subscribers are, but I know on Instagram they have like about 1 million, but I don't know if their YouTube does.
He was one of the first dudes to translate to YouTube.
Right. And like, and that came from like, if you're good, people will want to find you. It's the same thing with music. It's like we have Spotify and we have iTunes, but then why do we need SoundCloud? Because people want to find the independent. They want to find like what they like. And they're like, I'm not getting it on this. So like, I will search and hunt. And it's like, if it's good content, people will find you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Other people's successes
Okay, why is it so low?
aren't your failures.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
other people's failures are
Aren't
not your
your
successes.
success.
Yeah.
And that's what we came to talk to you about today, Monarey. And we appreciate you coming to the podcast today. And honestly, you can have another LaCroix if you want. We have 2 other 8-packs. And if you want a jalapeno, it's still on the table.
Boom.
If you want to have one, you can take a bite or whatever later.
Okay, don't do the fingers when you say that.
Take
Dude.
a
It's
bite.
very condescending. I don't like it, dude. And let me just say this to my mom, if she's listening. First of all, turn it off. Don't listen ever.
Yeah.
And it was a joke when I said you had a fat ass earlier. I've never actually looked at your ass before.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, dude, I mean, we could talk fucking forever.
Oh yeah, no, you guys are super both fun.
Super
You know what I'm
Bowl.
saying?
Okay,
Yeah.
she doesn't mean any
I
of
mean,
that.
one of us is probably more fun than the other, but you don't have to say who. But you know, we unfortunately have to get out of here today. But
Yeah.
that just means it's an excuse for you to come back. dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, this
man.
was super fun, and this was very like professional. I was like, oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nobody says that.
No, it's super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is season 3.
Ooh.
And we've already been renewed for season 4.
What?
Yeah. So get your
Breaking
SpaghettiO
news.
cans ready at home.
Yeah.
and eat them
Coming
cold.
in hot. Yeah.
Well, coming in hot, but the spaghetti stay cold.
Need to stay cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or room temperature at least.
Consistency. Yeah.
But thank you, Monarey, for coming here. Do you have anything that you want to plug? Any social media or anything? that you wanna let
Yeah,
people know?
I have a bunch of shows coming up in February. You can just go on my Instagram,
For sure.
Monterey M, and they're all listed up there.
Dope.
Yeah.
And go check out Monterey. Go fucking like this video. Comment on this video. Comment. Just tell us how much
Tell
you
Monterey
like.
how good her nails are.
Yes.
There, look at that.
Look at those.
Wow.
And how great my nails are too. And
Show your nails. Gross.
those gross.
Get some lotion, dude.
And yeah, thank you guys for listening and watching. As always, I'm the best host, Josh Magic Michaels.
That's not true. I'm the best host.
And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Or podcast. Audio format also.
Yeah, or video or audio, whatever, however you're choosing to listen to this.
But until then, we say
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Why did you laugh after?
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.